months. France had 2 in 1 month, defeated fascism, and still had time to have an affair with Denmark.
It was sexy. Great Britain, just watch. This journal has come out saying that they estimate the death toll in Gaza will exceed, or has exceeded already, 186,000 people. The horror unfolding in Gaza is unquestionably a genocide, and the full extent of that horror won't be truly known until it comes to an end, said one political analyst. I'm pretty sure it makes perfect sense why mainstream media doesn't want to report on this. I don't know how people in any way, shape, or form can reckon with this reality if it turns out, again, to be true. It's one of those things where they're making their estimation and they show their methodology, and this is done in a very conservative way. So this would be on their lower end of potential current death toll taking place in Gaza. And yeah, if anyone can learn this and know that half of this is children, so we're talking nearly 100,000 children brutally murdered, burned alive, who I'm sure many of you have already seen the corpses of. And now we're starting to see a lot of photos of children dying from starvation, which literally just looks like little skeletons. It's just the most horrifying and grotesque and gruesome thing. And we're all enabling it. See, I know a lot of liberals right now, they're done with Joe Biden because at this point they're like, well, Joe Biden's got to go. He's not fit to be the president of the United States. He doesn't seem to be able to communicate in the same way he did. And yes, he is showing signs of aging. So at this point, yes, we have to stop him. But there is a very large percentage, mostly the left, who have been saying and trying to sound the alarm bells on Joe Biden for a number of reasons. And one of the really key ones is his enabling of this ongoing genocide. Not to mention, I would even put him into an accelerationist for it, considering that he's been working to downplay the severity of what has been going on, which again is genocide apologia. He has been funding it. He has been providing the weaponry that makes the entire thing possible. He has a lot of fucking blood on his hands. That's most likely, in my estimate, going to be his legacy forever. The man is a war criminal of the highest order and absolutely should revile and disgust any normal human being who doesn't want this to be happening anymore kind of situation. So that's one big reason why I would say you should probably look towards the possibility that the Democrats could nominate someone else, someone who has not nearly been as supportive of Israel's project and campaign to ethnically cleanse Palestinians out of Gaza. Yeah, destroy that entire area. It's also why, again, I think that you're not seeing a lot of people talk about the new Lancet study that does put their death toll conservatively exceeding 186,000 people dead, because it's jaw-dropping. It's numbers that like our brains, I don't even think have a really good way of quantifying and processing. The Vietnam War, I think that's like around like 56 or 57,000 American soldiers lost their lives in the Vietnam War, and that's considered a massive, massive loss of life by American standards. There's other conflicts that America's had where there's been monstrously huge losses of life. We're talking, again, this is an estimation that it's nearly 100,000 children alone killed. Children, just children. Again, it's something that we all will have to reckon with, I think, forever. But it's one of those things where the very people who have been trying to downplay it or trying to, play games with the entirety of it as well. This whole ceasefire's on its way. Well, no ceasefire. Well, yeah, maybe there's a ceasefire. Well, the ceasefire apparently was approved by Hamas, but it's not being approved by Israel. No, now Israel's saying that Hamas rejected the ceasefire. They're saying they didn't. And now we're going to be doing the whole thing again and again. Red lines, so many red lines. Yes, ground invasion of Rafah is my red line. I told them, if you do this, you won't be getting our support. Well, that's a lie. You get our support. Here's our support. You get it. Yeah. So there's really no red lines anymore. You can do whatever you want, clearly. And you've established that because, again, it's a far-right extremist government that is in Israel right now. And it's a genocidal government that have said it out loud. They're trying to basically purge Palestinians from the face of the earth. So, yeah, it would make sense that they want to continue to do that. And they also want Donald Trump to get elected. So in addition to everything else, it's probably better for Donald Trump's election chances if this mass slaughter continues to happen, because it is, again, so alienating for everybody, including Democrats and voters who just can't, in good conscience, undecided. That thing, the whole undecided movement, because I know that we're being told right now that, well, President Biden, he got all the votes, and so it's the will of the American people in a primary that didn't really happen. Like, there wasn't really a primary. I don't know if anyone noticed, but there wasn't really any massive recognizable names that ran against Joe Biden, because most likely they're not supposed to. You don't run against Joe Biden in a primary when it's, the incumbent president. That's not how things are done. And so you got a lot of independent and smaller people who were running, yes, against Joe Biden. But ultimately, it really came down to, he was by default going to win when he's the default candidate kind of thing. Trump dominating Biden in key swing states as president runs a whopping 12 points behind the state Dem Senate candidate.
He is not leaving this race. He is in this race, and I support him. Now, what I think is critically important right now is that we focus on what it takes to win in November, because he is running against Donald Trump, who is a man with 34 felony convictions that has committed 34 felony crimes, and not a single Republican has asked for.
Okay, so I'm going to answer that first question, the one about the Donald Trump. Why is no one, all these people who are now saying Biden should drop out, why aren't they saying Trump should drop out? Sure, Trump should drop out. I could do that again for you. Here, I'll zoom in for this one. Yeah, Trump should drop out. Fuck that Trump guy. He's a war criminal. I hate Donald Trump. Hey, I'm going to say this too.
Clean up your room.
Orange man, bad. He's bad. Donald Trump, he sucks. The guy's a fucking piece of shit. Fuck Trump. Yeah, I'm brave. Feel good. It had no effect, as you probably could already tell, right? It did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Again, because I'm not a right-winger, I'm not a Republican, I'm not even an American. I don't have any power to sway, Donald Trump voters in the MAGA crowd into suddenly asking for Donald Trump to step down. It has no power here. It does absolutely nothing, and it's worthless. So that's why people within Biden's own party or supporters, or people even from other countries who are trying to support the defeat of Donald Trump, I would say, is more important than the victory of Biden. Right? I don't give two fucks about Biden. In fact, I think Biden is a disgusting genocidal freak. I would really honestly enjoy that Donald Trump lose the election and Donald Trump then spends the rest of his days in jail alongside Joe Biden. I would like them both to spend the rest of their days in jail, to be honest. That's to me, this is the ideal scenario. This is the best possible outcome. I'll never get what I want, and I get that. I've made peace with this. I understand my place and the way the world works, and that's totally 100% fine. But it would be most splendiferous. Sorry, I'm forgetting words. But it would be most splendiferous if, yes, both Biden and Trump just spent the rest of their days in jail. That would be fantastic. But again, me saying, Trump should step down does nothing from someone who is not supporting Trump whatsoever. And so that's why this false equivalence that I'm seeing, that a lot of people, like, a lot of liberals are typing this out too online, being like, I don't see a single person asking for Biden to step down, for Trump to step down. Okay, step down, Trump. Please? No? Oh, well, yeah, again, that did not work, all right? Now, if defeating Trump is the most pivotal and crucial thing for the entire planet, apparently, because Project 2025 is coming right up, and it looks really scary, and, if America falls into a full-on fucking fascist dictatorship, yeah, it will affect the rest of the world, namely Canada and Mexico, okay? I have a vested interest in this. I don't want America to fall to fascism, because we're probably next. Canada will probably go before Mexico, to be totally honest with you. I see Mexico putting up a fight. I see a lot of Canada just being like, you know what? I've always enjoyed my proximity to power. I'd like to continue that feeling, so I'm gonna go with America too. Yeah. No, I'm pro America too now. I wanna be a part of this whole project. Yeah, they're taking over the world. They're talking about a Lebensraum or something. I don't know. It's Italian, I think. Either way, they said that they're gonna be the future.
Perhaps this chart.
I love this so much. I know he didn't write it. It was always one of the writers, but I was like, you know what? Prop comedy, gag comedy, usually pretty cringe. Can be very cringe, in fact. Like, just look at Carrot Top. His entire body of work, cringe, just ridiculous, right? It's like, hey, I come up with puns, and then I make the puns into dioramas, and then I smash them. Give me a Vegas residency, please. This one, though, I don't know. This one just spoke to me, because I was like, God damn, that's hella accurate, Oh yeah, that's true. I have definitely been noticing this, as a Venn diagram.
Representative Jackie.
Representative Jackie, are you here? Where's Jackie? I didn't think she was going to be here.
Unfortunately, Jackie was dead. It's something that the president seemed to have.
I was making jokes around this time, by the way. I was like, you know, that's not great. What's not great? Biden's talking to ghosts. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? It's a half-truth, though. It is kind of like, okay, fine, he's not having a full one-on-one conversation with specters. But he is invoking ghosts and speaking about ghosts in the present. So, I mean, it's just something to keep an eye on, is all I'm saying. All right? I would observe this.
Known 6 weeks earlier when he released a condolence statement about her death. So,
Was a guy named Riley, last name. 4 more years. Pause. 4 more years.
Then, of course, to be fair, State of the Union. Concern dropped a little bit at the State of the Union. He kind of nailed it.
And that was when I saw a lot of people, even normies, coming forward and being like, wow, Joe Biden is sharp. And then people started to make the Adderall jokes, right? They're like, he's probably on performance-enhancing drugs. Yeah, they probably got him on this beautiful cocktail, you know, just the right, they just got the right chemicals in there, blah, blah, blah. And then the right wing was like, oh no, they can do that? What? They can just hop him up on pills and shit, and then he can actually be presidential. All right, so we got to start talking about how you know, he should be drug tested, how presidents shouldn't be allowed to use drugs. Yeah, the problem with that is that Trump kind of, you know, he needs the old horse enema every now and then. Let's just say that. And without it, he's not quite as articulate. So, yeah. And that's just to be able to get him to the state that we get Trump into, where he just talks crazy. So if you want that, we do have to give him some kind of mind-altering horse enemas. And so at the same time, it's just one of those things where, like, if we go after Biden for the drugs, we'd have to go after Trump for the drugs. So maybe just we'll leave the drugs out of the whole thing, right?
Then the debate happened, and we kind of, what the what?
Again, not all prop comedy is the same, all right? It's not all made the same. There's still some juice left in prop comedy.
The whole thing is bad. It's been bad since he started with grabbing by the pussy. I mean, what are you going to do? I will tell you the difference. The difference is Trump delivered at the debate to expectation. We expect him to be crazy.
Yeah. That's what I was saying the night of, when people were like, well, Trump kind of, you know, didn't have a great night either. It was like, he didn't have a great night, sure, but he didn't have a disastrous one. He performed exactly as expected. I didn't expect Joe Biden to perform so horrifyingly beyond the pale, of which, like, oh, you had to have known about this, especially Democratic insiders. That must have been one of the scariest nights for them, just leading up to it, hearing his voice in like the behind the scenes, and then blah, 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 and sir, maybe you should have another lozenge, and I'm like, I've had 12 lozenges already, and it's like, oh God, sir, maybe you should sleep some more. It's like, I've been sleeping for 2 weeks, and it's like, we're doing this. It's happening. Yeah, 46 million people apparently live watching this. And that's just in America. The rest of the world is watching it as well. Well, good luck, sir. Just remember not to do as many lists. Maybe just try and stay, like, you know, just stick to 1 point at a time kind of thing. Don't start off with number 1, right? Don't do countdowns.
This was reassuring. And we're told that the threat of Trump is so great and the stakes are so high that even bringing up these absolutely legitimate concerns about the president's ability to do the most vigorous job in the world for the next 4 years is enabling fascism.
Which is wild, by the way. Absolutely wild. America, you got so much time. You haven't even had the Democratic National Convention yet. That hasn't taken place. And even suggesting that this individual is not fit for office, even suggesting that, is treasonous. Oh, okay, so you're a Trump supporter. Didn't know. Oh, okay. So I guess you're coming from a place of privilege. Sure is weird how it's mostly white cishet men who are calling for Biden to step down and allow for Kamala Harris to run for president. That's coming out right now. I saw that all day by all of these people who are just for some reason or another consistently just beating it's Biden or no one. Only Biden can defeat Trump. Only Biden has the power. Only Biden is the person to do it. Sure is silver spoon, place of privilege that all these cishet white men are calling for Biden to step down specifically. Kind of telling that, these same people aren't okay with there being a black vice president. A lot of the people saying this are saying that there should be a black woman president. Yeah, ahead of the cishet white male in this case. But why are we doing this? It's so deeply embarrassing on every level to go from, well, actually, did you know that ABC and CNN are manipulating Joe Biden's voice and selectively editing him to make him sound worse than he is? Okay, is the local black radio station in Philadelphia selectively editing his call to make him sound worse than he is when he said that he was the first black female vice president of the United States? Like, it's not just that the quality of his voice is bad, which can happen from talking too much. They're really now trying to juice him, by the way, and that's not healthy either. They're just basically squeezing every last ounce of Biden left, being like, look at him. He's doing 2 rallies a day. He's going on radio stations. He's going to appear on Morning Joe the day after. Then he's going to be going to another rally. Then he's going to NATO. And then when he gets back from NATO, he's going to be doing 12 more rallies. And then, yeah, all of that is going to make your voice sound very raspy. It happens to me too. So that's one part. But it's also that he's not forming or finishing sentences, or he's trailing off, or he's talking about things that are not real or pertinent to the thing he just said. That's way more worrisome. Like, it gets really scary when he starts to mix up entire countries, world leaders, some of whom who have been dead for a long time. That starts to become a bit of a liability when you are, again, the person who is in charge of the world's most powerful military. Then starting to make statements in which the White House will have to correct you afterwards and be like, when Joe Biden said that he was talking about the president of Mexico, he actually meant the president of Turkey. A common mistake any of us have made, but that's surely not what he was trying to imply, and he's not trying to start any kind of conflict or international problem with Mexico in the process. 4 months. 4 months. It's a long time. And it's totally healthy to have these kind of discussions. It does not make you a traitor. Okay, does not make you a pro-Trump supporter. Does not make you suddenly hate the very concept and want to usher in Project 2025. I would say consistently trying to ignore reality is in many ways giving Trump a gift. Why do you think Tim Pool is making statements right now where it's like, we have to do everything we can to keep Joe Biden in the race? It seems like the Democrats are trying to get rid of him. Some Democrats or some liberal insiders are trying to get rid of him. Well, yeah, of course, because this is a much easier opponent for Donald Trump at this point, at this stage, right? And Donald Trump is such a bad opponent. Like, honestly, if I was a GOP or a right-winger, I would have been like, fuck this guy. That pedophile piece of shit who's all over the Epstein files, like everywhere. It's not like he went on a couple flights. It's not like he had a couple phone calls. He's in a couple areas. Oh, yes, he is mentioned by Epstein once kind of shit. He's all over that. I mean, if there was any one person who seems to be incredibly heavily involved with pedophile, human trafficking, child asshole fucking Jeffrey Epstein, it's Donald fucking Trump. This man is a liability. He has so much shit on him. He's a convicted criminal. He tried to overturn an election, tried to upend American talk. The man is a disaster. Can we go with anyone else? We can't? All right, fine. It's fucking Donald Trump. I'll shut the fuck up. Oh, look at this. Oh, Joe Biden's not making sense. Oh, he's not making any sense at all. Oh, this is good. This is, oh my God. Oh, that was a disaster. Oh, that was so bad for them. That was so, Trump, stay out of this. No, seriously, just stop talking for a little while. Just, no, shut the fuck up. Okay, fine, you can have some retruths. We'll give you that. You can go have some retruths. Go on Truth Social. Go have your retruths. But otherwise, don't go on cameras and don't say all that wild stuff. Don't talk about how, just like you want to prevent every woman in America from having an abortion. Don't do that shit. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Put a lid on it. Let Biden just take the reins. Let this just happen, all right? This is a gift.
I feel as long as I gave it my all and I did the goodest job as I know I can do, that's what this is about.
That's not what this is about! There are no participation trophies in endgame democracy. Oh, yes. I remember FDR saying, well, if the Nazis take over Europe, at least both teams had fun. And it's really troubling as this new information has been introduced. In 2 months. France had 2 in 1 month, defeated fascism, and still had time to have an affair with Denmark.
It was sexy. Great Britain just watched.
Americans are for any hint of inspiration.
Not just Americans. The world. I'm going to be honest with you. That's why lefties are ironically memeing Kamala Harris right now, saying they're coconut tree pilled. She's a monster too. Yeah, no, we haven't forgotten. It's not suddenly like, I'm just going to ignore everything from the past that I was really complaining about before. No, it's not. What is happening right now? What's the alternative? Donald Trump, Project 2025, or Genocide Joe, who may or may not know that he was elected for another 4 years. That's basically what the entire planet has to stare down. So yeah, maybe I would prefer something else, just to talk about at the very least.
Do you think there is any Democrat who could defeat Donald Trump other than you?
Probably 50 of them.
50? I gotta say, I like the cut of that fella's jib.
So yeah, I thought that was a really good segment, specifically because it does finally really put some clarity into the fact that, like, even if the ship has sailed, there's nothing that can be done. All right, there's no way to possibly replace Joe Biden. After all, the delegates are going to go to the convention. They're going to represent him, and they're they're the ones with the most votes. So Biden is the nominee, whether you like it or not. Just get on board already, okay? Stop talking about this. Just get on board. You're helping Trump. Well, there is still time, and the very idea of even having a conversation about this is not one that anyone should shit on, unless, of course, you were trying to use the same tactics that MAGA and the GOP would be using, which is just to silence any dissidents, to silence anyone who's just even bringing up the possibility that, is there other options? Is there another way? Is there a better path forward? If at the end of the day, it's true what you say, that, stopping Trump and Project 2025 is just the most prescient matter concerning the globe, the planet. If Trump comes to power, he'll become Hitler too, and soon the world will fall. If that's the case, then wouldn't you want to have a discussion about putting forward the best possible candidate who can beat him? And as of today, Joe Biden is a disaster in the polling, an absolute complete disaster.
Hey, if you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/The Serfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Puppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Travis McClinton, Trincell, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.